morning to everyone. Today is Monday, September 21st, and I am trainer Lisa McCrary, and I hope everyone had a really great weekend. I gotta say, where did the summer go? I'm here in Ohio, and fall is here. Today is the last day of summer. We're gonna say hello to fall tomorrow. I gotta admit, I'm looking outside and the air is crisp. It's sweater weather, which I'm sort of loving, and I'm starting to see our leaves changing, which is really nice. So this is one of my favorite times of the year, so I am truly enjoying it. So with that said, a little bit about the weather. I hope you guys are having nice weather wherever you are and that you guys are safe. Let's go ahead and jump right into Motivational Monday. And as always, we're gonna start our Motivational Monday with our chat, with our quote for the week. And this week quote comes from Thomas Edison. This is one person who can really teach us a thing or two about never giving up, because I could say that it probably took him a long, long time in order to do all the things that he was able to accomplish with the light bulb, the motion pictures, the phonograph, and all that good stuff. But what Thomas Edison said was, our greatest weaknesses lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try one more time. And I really, really like that quote, mainly because selling insurance can be a very challenging role. I'm not going to downplay it. We have to make thousands of dials. We have to hear so many different no's from our clients, or maybes, or call me backs, and it's just not as easy as saying, here is my product, okay, I'll buy it, it's sold. It's just not that easy. We have to make multiple attempts in order to close a sale. But I will tell all of you from experience, from what I've been able to accomplish, with perseverance, determination, and a whole lot of faith, on the other side of all of that hard work is success, freedom, and a very comfortable future. But just like with Thomas Edison and what he said, you can't give up and you really have to persevere. One thing that I used to do, and this is just a little tip for you guys, one thing that I used to keep on my desk, and it was nothing formal, I used to just keep it on a sticky note, and it was a reminder to not give up during those times when I'm getting a lot of no's, I'm making a lot of dials, not making very many contacts or anything like that, and it just helped to keep me motivated. When I started to doubt my efforts with all the people that I was trying to reach, what I would just tell myself, and I would just look at that simple sheet of paper, and some of you guys have probably heard of this, I would just say to myself, some will, some won't, so what? Someone's waiting. So what that told me, and the reason why that statement was important to me, is because I knew that as I was making my calls, some of the people that I talked to was going to say okay, and some it just wasn't appropriate for them and they were going to say no. But I couldn't let it get me down. I had to continue to persevere because there was someone out there waiting that needed my help. And that's what I concentrated on. So, you know, they're very simple words, but they're very powerful words. And if you find yourself getting maybe discouraged or not feeling like you're getting anywhere, get a piece of paper, write this down. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone is definitely waiting for what you have to give to them and what you can offer them. So just remember that. That's just a little bit of a quote for you and something that helped me persevere during my career as an agent. Welcome again, friends, to Motivational Monday. I am just so incredibly happy that you guys are here with me today. As always, we're going to review our tips for the week, and then we're going to go into my favorite part, our reward and recognitions, along with our sales shout outs. If my tongue will work right, it's Monday, so sometimes my tongue is like saying I'm not going to work for you, but we're gonna persevere. That's what we do. That's what we've been talking about, persevering. And last but not least, we're going to talk about sales statistics you need to know that can help you improve how you do business. Really, I believe knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you're able to do and the more you're able to accomplish. So let's start off first with our tips for the week. And what we have here, and this is something that some of you might be familiar with and some of you guys might not be familiar with. AHCP has a great tool on their website that can help you easily search products by state. You can easily find carriers, you can find products that are available in a very interactive state map. Now, with this map, you also can get information when it comes to appointment information. If you need product guides or grids, or if you want quoting information, even incentive information is available in this interactive map. And what's nice is that all you got to do is click on the map, click on the different state that you want to choose, and then it's going to give you all the information that you're going to need. Now, if you are unfamiliar with this and you want to use it and find it or check it out, the only thing you need to do is go to ahcpsales.com, select our carriers, then go to interactive state map. As simple as that. And it's really a great tool that you can use where you don't have to go to all the different carrier sites and things like that to find out what's available in different states. You can just go right here and take a look at what is available, and you can get a whole bunch of information. Like I said, you can even get appointment information, which is a pretty big deal. Now, I got to ask you guys, if you're anything like me, I am not a techie person. God knows I wish I was, but I'm not. But if you are like me and you're wanting to set up a website, but don't even know where to get started, HSCP is just this awesome company because they've actually partnered with a website building platform called Agent Methods, and they're going to help you out with building a website. You have no idea how many agents I talk to that say, I want a bigger social media platform. I want to be out there to advertise myself and communicate with individuals over the internet by having my own website. Well, HSCP, I can't even talk. AHCP actually made that possible for you. This particular, and it's done through this agent method. And what they do is they build websites for you that will make your quoting process seamless, because with the platform, they can actually even integrate your website with our quoting tool called QuoteIt, which is pretty darn cool, because when you go in there, it just makes everything a lot more seamless. It allows your clients to browse the insurance products on their own on your website, as well as help them with educational materials with a very large network of content on various insurance topics that will be available to your agents, to your customers as they go to your website. Now, right now, AHCP agents receive a 50% off website setup discount, as well as 20% off for the first 4 months of service, which is pretty darn cool. So I wanted to make sure I let you guys know about this, because I hear so many times people saying that they want to have a website, they don't know how to get started. Bam, here you go. This is a way that you can get your website started. If you are interested in getting more information, there is no obligation. Only thing you need to do is go over to Agent Methods, and that's with an s.com/quoted. And that website is on the screen right there. So you can check it out and see it. It is just right there on the screen. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, please do. I do think that, especially with COVID and people being at home, social media advertising is just huge. And it really can make a difference in growing your business and getting yourself out there. Now, I don't need to tell anyone that has ever participated in A&P how very stressful of a time it is. Really, you're going to be doing long hours. You're going to be dealing with great customers. You're going to be dealing with frustrated customers. The most discouraging thing is that because a lot of times you're so busy, you miss opportunities. And then on the personal note, you're dealing with the holidays and trying to balance your personal life with your business life. It's just really, really a challenging period. Well, once again, AHCP has partnered with another great company called GreatEP. And this company is designed to help make AEP a little less stressful with the power of automation, which is pretty cool. So how does all of this work? So what it does is with this particular company, they automate your outreaches during AEP to make sure that you're connecting with each and every customer. Now, I think that that is huge. So that means no missed opportunities. That means that you are connecting with customers automatically and you're not losing that opportunity. So I think that's a huge benefit. That probably is the biggest benefit there because you don't want to miss out on any opportunities. The next thing is that you can capture that scope of appointment form right at the time of scheduling. So that's just being efficient. As soon as you are scheduling your appointment, you're able to, with this particular system and the way they have it set up, you're able to capture that scope of appointment, which is huge. It even optimizes your calendar so that you don't have gaps or crunches. So it's looking at your calendar to make sure that you're filling in all of those gaps and you're not having empty spaces or you're not overbooking yourself or anything like that. And then check this out, guys. It sends reminders to your customers of their meeting so that they are prepared for the meeting, which is pretty cool. So it automatically when you have a meeting schedule, it will automatically send reminders. I think that's also a pretty cool feature there. If you are also interested in GreatEP, the only thing you need to do is go to, and it is also on this page right now that you can take a look at. It is at greataep.com/AHCP. Now, I will tell you guys that right now their AHCP reps are receiving a 50% lifetime discount. And yes, I did say lifetime discount. So if you are remotely interested in this, I would say go ahead and check it out and see if it's something that can benefit your business and make things a lot easier for you at AEP, because efficiency when it comes to AEP as well as OEP, efficiency is the key, because you're going to be doing a lot of things and you're going to be moving, and it's really important to make sure you're organized. And if you can automate some things, sometimes that can make things just that much better. All right, now this is like my favorite part. I always like to see what's going on or what happened during the prior week. So now let's take a look at what was selling the most last week. So in looking at this during the week of September 14th, it looks like UHC golden rule sort of ruled the roost when it came to short-term medical as well as dental. But NatGen really stepped up to the plate when it came to selling those ancillary benefits, the limited med, as well as the accident and the critical illness, which we know you need to have those things also available with those short-term medicals. If you're not selling bundles, you know, guys, that's where the money is, and that's where you're going to do the most help to your clients. Now, during the week of September 14th, we have some superstars that I do want to recognize, and they are as follows. When it comes to short-term medical sales, we have Max, Glenn, and Daniel. They sort of ruled the roost when it came to selling short-term medical sales. They just knocked it right out of the park. Limited med, which is another important product that we sell to our clients, just giving them other options. Katia as well as Dwayne, they did an awesome job at selling limited med. And then those accident products, Cody and Glenn, congratulations. You guys are being recognized for doing such a great job at selling those important accident products to our clients. All right, let's go ahead and get to our topic for the week, sales stats you need to know. Now I'm gonna ask you guys, have you ever wondered what sales statistics say about cold calling on average, and how cold calls can lead to you closing a sale, or just how the process needs to look? What do the statistics look like? Well, right now I'm about to spill the tea today with some of the statistics that might blow your mind, but more importantly, might hopefully help you sell more, because you are setting realistic expectations on what you can do when it comes to communicating with your customers. So these stats really do matter, because it's telling us what on average is happening out there with our agents. So I'm going to share a few of those stats with you, and hopefully you're going to find those stats valuable to you. Now, it seems like door-to-door selling insurance is a thing of the past. And thank God, right? I know I don't want to go back to doing that. I have done that. Don't want to go back to doing that. So I'm sort of glad that, some people might like it, and I'm not saying anything about that. More power to you. But for me, I love doing business over the phone. And statistics say that 92% of all customer interactions happen over the phone. So that's a fact for you. It always surprises me, to be honest, how much information people give out over the phone. But I think it's because people want convenience. They want quickness, and a phone call, a simple phone call, can accomplish both of those things. So I think that's why people really gravitate, and they're okay with talking to individuals over the phone. And then if you present yourself as a professional individual, a trustworthy individual, and a knowledgeable individual, people are going to want to do business with you. But have you ever wondered, on average, how many dials do you have to aim for in order to close one sale? I know that when I first started, that's what I wanted to know. Do I need to make 10 calls a day? Do I need to make 50 calls a day? What on average are people doing in order to close business? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of information based on some research that I've done. Well, on average, this is what they say. If we look at an 8-hour day, if we make 150 dials, that should lead you to about 10 contacts. 10 contacts meaning that you've actually talked to 10 different people, because remember, of those $150, you're going to be leaving a ton of voice messages. Of those 10 contacts, hopefully you are able to do 3 proposals. That's what you should be aiming for. And of those 3 proposals, that should lead you to 1 sale. Now, when I say 1 sale, of course, I am talking about a bundled sale. So you're selling multiple products. You're not just selling a short-term medical. You're doing the short-term medical, the AME, the critical illness, the life insurance, the dental. You're doing as much as your client is in need of based on what they can afford. Now, I want you guys to remember, these are averages. There are a number of factors that will affect these numbers. So when it comes to looking at this isn't the coup de grace. This isn't, the end all say all. If I make 150 calls, I'm definitely going to have 1 sale. That's not always necessarily true, because there are some things that come into play. But if you want a guideline, and that was my thing when I was an agent, I wanted a guideline. I wanted something to say, okay, how many do I need to get to? How many actions do I need to make in order to get to a certain destination? But like I said, this is just averages. Now, the factors that might affect these numbers is your script. Do you have a strong script? Is your script too long? Is it too brief? Are you confident when you are doing your presentation? People can tell when you're not confident, and when you're not confident, it doesn't make them feel sure about you. So if you are nervous, fake it until you can make it. Sometimes it comes down to timing. You call somebody and they need something right away, they're going to want to buy. Sometimes you call people and they're just shopping. So they're going to go in your pipeline for you to call back at a later date. Likability. The truth of the matter is, people are going to buy from who they like. Your experience has a lot to do with it. We got to give our tenured agents credit. They've been doing it a long time, so they have a lot of different tricks that they can do in order to make the calls go a lot better to help their close ratio. When you see those situations, when you meet those individuals, ask them how they're doing it so that you can increase your odds. One thing that I would say about this business, the more people you know, the more people you talk to and you learn from, the stronger you will become. And then sometimes it just comes right down to luck. To be honest, sometimes I have been on the phone and I've talked to people and I'm like, I don't know how in the world I closed that sale. I probably said 3 words, but I had somebody that had a need. I had the right product for them and they said yes. And I'll take that too. But if you guys want to know, if you're looking at an 8-hour day and you're making 150 calls, that should generate 1 customer. So let's look at, if we're looking at a 40-hour week, what are we looking at? We should be looking at about 5 new customers per week if we're following this scale that we have here. So for those of you who are looking for goals, here you go. This is somewhere you can start. And then you can tweak it based on your experience, based on the things that your attributes and the things that you're strong at. You can tweak it. But on average, my research has shown 150 dials, 10 contacts will lead to 3 proposals, 1 closed bundled sale. Okay, here's another really good statistic that I want to share with you guys. It takes an average of 8 calls to get in touch with a prospect following the initial contact. I'm going to repeat that. It takes an average of 8 calls to get in contact with the prospect following the initial contact. Now, here is the sad thing. This is the sad thing. 44% of salespeople give up after one follow-up, and that is the truth. I've seen it over and over again. I have worked with hundreds of agents side by side, watching what they're doing, and they do. Most people think that their call should be a one-call close, and that is not reality. I hope you're not that person. Prospecting, and this is the reality, prospecting is hard. And most of us hate it. Now, I'm one of the weird people in the world who don't mind it because I honestly find it very challenging. So I kind of enjoy it. But if we give up on our prospects too soon during the calling process, we're not giving it the time needed to cultivate that relationship and the trust that is needed with our clients. The truth is, our clients like to know that you care about them and that you're not going to give up on them and that you're willing to persevere and you're willing to work hard for their business. So I'm going to tell you guys, don't be afraid to be persistent. It's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes our clients appreciate our persistence because they got so many other things going on in their lives. They appreciate us not giving up on them. This is the fact. Your prospects, they wouldn't have asked for additional information regarding health insurance if they didn't need help. So your prospect needs your help. They just don't know it yet. So you just got to help them see what it is you can do for them. And until you hear the word no, you still have a very good and viable lead. All right, so what does a good follow-up look like? Some of you probably have seen this before because we've used it time and time again because it actually works. When you get a lead, this is the thing. When you get a lead, what is the first thing you should do? I hope every last one of you are saying call them because that is the obvious answer. But what we're going to do is a few other things. We're going to call them when we get on that day one. We're going to call them. We're going to leave a voicemail, and we're going to send both a pre-built email and text template message to them. That's important. We want several touches. These are all considered touches. The phone call, the voicemail, the email, and the text message. Those are all considered touches. Now, you should also always schedule a second call on day one, about an hour or two after that initial call. This is it. 2 calls in one day usually get people's attention, and hopefully it will increase your odds of them answering the phone or calling you back. So, because most people don't answer their phone when, we're making all of these different touches on day one, it's mainly because people just don't answer their phone when they don't recognize the number. I do that myself. So the more information you can give them about yourself in different ways, via voicemail, via email, via text, those are all touches that's going to help introduce you so that when you're making these subsequent calls later, they know who you are. You're no longer a stranger to them. Remember, you guys, when you are leaving your messages to your clients, this is just a quick tip. Make sure that you are being quick and to the point. This is just a tip. Make sure you're professional and you're doing your personal branding, meaning you're letting them know who you are and what you do. A good example of this, and this is usually for day one, it's going to be a little bit longer of a message because you have to tell them a little bit more about yourself, but day 2, 3, 4, 5 and on, it's going to be shorter messages. So here's an example of a message that you can leave on day one for that first message. Hi, John, you inquired about affordable health insurance. I work with hundreds of different companies to help my clients acquire the most comprehensive and affordable health insurance possible. My name is Lisa. I'm with AHCP Insurance. John, I would love to see what I can do to help you. My services are completely free and I can be reached at 999-9999. Again, John, my name is Lisa. I am with AHCP Insurance, and my number is 999-9999. Now, I repeated my information, and I told them a little bit about what I do. My email, my text is going to be very similar. That is going to be on day one, leaving that message. Now, here is another tip that I want to share with you guys that I like to do on day one when I'm trying to reach my prospects, because people don't always like to answer their phone. Unfortunately, they're just rude like that. What I will do is when I call my client the first time, so I get the lead, I call them the first time, they don't answer, I do what's called the double tap approach. So some of you might be aware of this. I will not leave a voicemail initially. So I will call, it goes to voicemail or they don't answer, I hang up, and then I immediately call back. A lot of times when people see the same number calling twice on their caller ID, they're more likely to pick up. So that's another little tip that you can do on day one when you're calling. Do that double tap approach because they're like, oh, who is this calling me twice? This must be important. Let me answer the phone. Doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works sometimes, and sometimes it's better than no time. So there we go. Then we're looking at day two. Day two, make sure you're calling during your prime time. I like to think of my prime times as being between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I also like to call between 3 and 5 p.m. That's on my day two call. With that call, I am also leaving a voicemail, a text message, as well as that second call. Now that second call that I'm making this time, like the second call I made on day one was about 2 hours after my first call. Well, I'm trying to fill the customer out and trying to figure out when they're home. So my second call might be later in the evening, before 8 o'clock. So I might make that second call a little bit later. Now, one thing I'm hoping that you're gathering from this is that you got to be organized. You have to have files and you have to be organized in how you're making these calls. When we get to day three, you're going to send an email, preferably in the middle of the day. Now we're doing a different time. Now, why are we going to do it in the middle of the day? Because it's lunchtime. People get bored at lunchtime. They're just sitting there eating their lunch. They're not very busy. They're not working. They're just bored. They're more likely to pick up their phone and look at their emails. So we're sending them that, we're calling them, but we're also sending them an email, and hopefully they'll see that. We're going to give them a break on day four because you guys, we're not stalkers. Well, at least I would like to think that we're not stalkers. We're going to call day 5, and when we call on day 5, we're going to leave that voice message, and this voice message is going to be a little bit different. Hello, Mr. Client. My name is Lisa. and I'm with AHCP. I left you a couple of messages. My number is 999-9999. If I don't hear back from you, I will give you another call on Tuesday at around 2 to 3 o'clock. Look forward to hearing from you. Now I've given them a specific time, so hopefully, if they're interested, they're going to make themselves available. So that message is a little bit different. I'm going to skip day 6 and 7, and then I'm going to go to day 8. Now, this is where the magic happens, or the magic doesn't happen. This is where most people make the mistake. But this is also, like I said, where the magic happened. Most agents give up at this point. They think that the customer isn't interested. They just decide that they don't want to call the customer anymore because they're not returning their call. But this is honestly, it takes about 7 to 13 contacts in order to reach a client. So this is where the magic happens. If you stop here, this is like running a marathon and stopping on mile 26. A marathon is 26.213 miles. This is like stopping. You went through all that work and then now you're going to stop. Don't stop. This is where you're going to leave that, you're going to call, you're going to send an email, and then you're going to also send a text message. You can leave a voicemail as well if you choose to. Now, on day 8, usually I leave a message that will say something like, client, Mr. Client, this is Lisa with AHCP. Well, by now, hopefully you know I'm pretty persistent because I know what I can do for my clients. I promise to keep my conversation brief. Please give me a call at 333-9999. Looking forward to talking to you. I'm going to skip a week now if I hadn't heard back from them. And my message that's going to go out a week, so after day 8, so on day 13, my message that I'm going to go out, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more like, okay, are you serious about this? Let me know what's going on, because otherwise I can remove you from my list. Here is an example of what that's going to sound like. Hello, Mr. Client. This is Lisa with AHCP. I wouldn't keep trying if I didn't think the information I have is pertinent and important for you. If you're no longer interested in health insurance, a quick call or text would be much appreciated. My number again is blah, 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 blah. Now, honestly, this is when I get the call back. This is when people start to call me because they're like, uh-oh, I do need insurance. I am shopping insurance. I didn't need it right away, but I do need some information. Let me call this person back. This is usually where it happens. It didn't happen on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's happening now. After probably between the 8th and 13th day. So, just something for you guys to chew on a little bit. It's not a one and done. It's not, if you're stopping on day 1 or 2, you're really not giving yourself the opportunity that you need. Make sure, once again, your touches are professional and consistent, and you'll be surprised at the results that you'll get. My next stat here is 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls after the first meeting. 44% of sales reps give up after 1 follow-up call. So here's what happened. An agent will get or purchase a lead or get a lead. Then they will call that lead and speak to someone. If that person is a cautious shopper, or if that person is confused by insurance for some reason, or just need time to really think about what it is that they're buying and they're just not ready to pull the trigger right now, most agents, based on this statistic, will stop. Well, what I say right now, big, big, big mistake. Remember this statistic, 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls after the first meeting. Here's the reality, guys. 7 to 13 touches to generate a qualified lead. That's what we just established. Touches are those phone calls, emails, text messages, video conferences, house calls, whatever it takes. But you got to put the work into it in order to get the results. But if you quit too soon, if you don't get anything else out of this message, if you quit too soon because in your mind you think your client is not interested, you could be setting yourself up for failure. Your client could just be busy. Your client, this might just not be an immediate priority. But for you, you have a solution for them and you can help them. So be persistent and make sure you're calling them and trying to stay in contact with them until they tell you no. And if they tell you no, now you know where you stand. Here's my last one. 91% of customers say they would give referrals, but only 11% of salespeople even ask for them. That is, to me, this is the most shocking one of them all. If you are making this mistake, you are wasting precious opportunity. Seriously, guys. It is only a question that you need to ask your customers. It is not pulling teeth. It is not an invasive question. It's just simply asking your client, I know I'm not able to help you, Mr. Client, but I know I'm good at what I can do. Is there anybody else that you know of that I'm able to help with their health insurance needs? Yes or no. That's what they're going to say. Yes or no. And that's okay. But make sure that you ask, what is the worst that can happen if you ask? They'll say no. That's okay. But what is the worst that can happen if you don't ask? I'll tell you, nothing. You're not going to get a referral. You're not going to get any additional leads. And really, a lot of times when you ask for those referrals, that's a form of building rapport with the person you're talking to. You're caring about the people they care about. So don't be this person, guys, and make sure that you're asking for those referrals. They're very important. So there you go. A few interesting statistics that hopefully will improve how you do business. So much business is just being left on the table by agents because of poor sales practices, which includes not having good follow-up, not asking for those referrals, and not being timely on our callbacks. Don't let that be you. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Motivational Monday. And as always, if you need to reach us or if you have any questions at all, you can reach us at training@ahcpsales.com, or you can call us at 877-228-8773. You guys have a wonderful and blessed week, and have a wonderful sales and service week as well. Thank you for joining me, and see you next time.